Good morning, everybody. Jody Brozick here with Dan Aaker, head coach of the Winter Warriors. Dan, we had a first-round victory, 50-0 over the Custer Wildcats. Recap that really quick.
You know, I thought going in, two things that needed to take place. One, I really felt this in one of the few times all year where I thought we were a lot better up front. We've been into games going, okay, we need to match it, we need to have a draw, we need to do whatever, but I thought we were much better than we needed to show that. And I thought we did that. I thought we played really well up front, both sides of the ball. And then big plays was the other part of it, where we didn't feel that offensively from their end, if we could limit any big plays, especially from the quarterback, they'd have a hard time moving the ball and scoring. And we did a really good job of that. I think we're prepared for a couple of trick plays they threw in there, like the halfback pass back to the quarterback, and we picked that off. And just played solid defensively. I don't know if they completed a pass. I think they were 0 for 11, if I remember right. So, you know, solid defensive effort, and then the offensive side, we had a lot of big plays. And we thought going in that if we could get into their secondary, they'd have a hard time tackling us, and that was the case. So if we get through that initial wave, block well up front, our backs would make plays, and that happened too. And we just kept the pedal down, and a solid first round win, and kept the momentum that. Probably defensive momentum more than anything that we kind of created the last 2 weeks going into that, so it makes it number 3. So
that's a good point.
Very happy, yeah. Yep.
Well, with the victory, we got to watch the scoreboard, and it looked like it was a wild Thursday night in East River. We didn't know who we were going to have. We end up with Sioux Falls Christian.
Yeah, it really kind of turned out where everybody, if you were going to pick games, that's what it ended up. Beersford had Christian down 21-6 at one time. I think that Stanley was playing with MVP for a little bit, and then both those teams who would have been penciled to be the favorites did win those games, and the alignments turned out like we kind of discussed with the favorites, if you will, winning and having to travel to Sioux Falls Christian. So, there was our game was over early enough that we kind of watched the score and seeing what's happened, but that's how it ended up.
Let's talk about Sioux Falls Christian Week 0 versus Sioux Falls Christian 11B quarterfinal. What's changed in the Chargers?
Not a lot. And then you look back what they did last year, it's the same type concept. And I give them a lot of credit for believing in what they do and just flat doing it. And I just talked to you a little bit off camera with the Beersford game, and they're down 21-6. They didn't hit a panic button. They never wavered from what they really truly wanted to do, and they kept grinding Beersford, and Beersford couldn't make that one stop that they could have made the difference, and they ended up pulling that game out. To make it simple, and we talked about this with our staff a lot this week. As much time as we spent preparing for them is kind of weird because they run one formation, essentially 5 plays, and they run their defense and rarely do much other than they blitz every once in a while, but they really feel they can line up in that 3-5 and stop teams. So you think of the Grotons of the world and Beersford and a lot of these teams that do multiple formations and multiple plays, which is hard to prepare for too. From that standpoint, they're not that hard to prepare for, but boy, do they execute. They're a very good football team. That's why they're returning state champs, and they've had a really nice year throughout this year. They'll come at you, and they'll just grind you. I think the hardest thing defensively is try to make stops. They have so much confidence in what they do. If they get to midfield, and I say midfield, probably their 40-yard line, and they're not going to punt. They'll go. They got 4 downs, and that really puts pressure on you defensively to, hold them to 2-3 yards of carry. And if you do that, you can't give up a 6 in there somewhere. And so I think that a lot of keys to this game, but defensively, we struggled with them first downs. I thought first time we played them, if we consistently give up 6 yards on first down, it's going to be tough to stop them. Can we shut them down? Probably not. We're not going to this game thinking we're going to flat shut them down, but we have to make stops. We have to hopefully force them to punt, or when they're going for a 4th down, make some stops and get the ball out of their hands, because that's probably the biggest thing that they can really do. Last year, they really hurt us big plays. They only had the one big play against us at the beginning of the year, and that came off a big turnover. So that mental composure. They have big playability. Parker Nelson, one of the fastest running backs in the state, is good. And Mulder had a big game against their quarterback against us the last time. So they have big playability. So that's another challenge defensively, is to not to give up the big play, but then also make stops. So they're really hard to defend. Probably your best defense is keeping the ball in your hand and playing really well special teams. They've lost 3 games in the last 2 years. And I think the thing that probably sticks out of the 3 losses they had is the team that beat them was really physical with them. And we're going to have to really bring that to the table tonight. We're going to play a really physical football game. And then offensively, those teams' playmakers on offense made plays. And we have to have that too. Our playmakers have to make some plays at certain times. And we talked a lot this week about offensive execution and taking advantage of our possessions. And that doesn't necessarily mean scoring every possession. Obviously, that'd be nice, but we've got to be able to move the ball and maybe get field position on our side by moving the ball. Another good challenge because they're solid defensively. But, you know, you look at the 2 losses we had, and in week 1, I don't think helped us any. Both years we were replacing a lot of guys, first-time varsity experience, and then trying to stop a team that did so well at what they do. We've come a long ways, and you know, we're not really changing a lot in terms of how we're going to play them defensively and what we're going to try to attack offensively, because, you know, we are who we are too. But we can't have, you know, last year a muff punt and sets up a big play. This year they make a nice long drive against us and then we muff a kickoff. We're down 12-0 before we run a play. I'm not going to go as far as to say that the early in the game is critical, but it's extremely important, because if we don't have a good start, we still got to have some mental toughness in battle. But a good start would be really important, I think, for us, because the longer we're sitting there at the end of the first quarter or closer to halftime, tight game, I think our guys will get a lot more confident too, because just the way it's played out the last 2 times we played it. But their challenge, special teams, I think, is a big one tonight. They do a lot of things on kickoff. We've had to kind of change some things, kickoff return, trying to prevent. I think they want probably a soccer player. He seems to be able to kick it a lot of different places, and they'll pooch, they'll squib, they'll onside, they hit open areas. They've recovered a lot of onside kicks, and I don't even know if you would call them necessarily onside. They just kicked them in areas and had guys that cover. So we got to do a good job. Special teams, they blocked punts this year. That's going to be a critical role, I think, if the game is tight, and that, because that helps a lot with field position. But they bring a lot to the table, and you know, that's why they're returning state champs. But we're certainly excited to have another shot at them. I mean, I think that I told the guys that after the first game that, you know, obviously tonight they were the better team, and our goal this year is to hopefully see them again, which now we have, and if we can close the gap that was between the 2 teams in week 1. I don't think that game was a 36-0 game, but they handled us. They did. So, you know, can we bring that to the table tonight and see where we're at? And as I said before, I think all our guys are excited to have a chance playing again.
We've talked a lot about Sioux Falls Christian, a little bit about Winter. Let's talk specifically about this week in practice, morale, confidence going up against the Chargers. How's your team look?
I thought we had a really good week of practice. You know, with parent-teacher conference this week, we kind of adjusted some of our scheduling. And a lot of times when you do that, we went mornings before, we went late after evenings before in the past, and it has always turned into just a little change always seems to bring a little more focus. And so this week we went at 7 o'clock after parent-teacher conferences on the game field under the lights. And we were sharp. We understand what we're trying to do. And, you know, I think we're as ready mentally. You know, I say that, you know, and we'll see how it plays out, because in-game mental toughness is going to be probably the most critical thing, obviously, tonight. But as far as going into the game, we had a really good week of practice. And you know, I'm the type of coach that really feels that, you know, there are not a lot of things you're going to do game day. I mean, it's either there or it's not. And I didn't think that when we went out there the last time, I thought our pregame practice wasn't very good. We didn't feel very good walking up as coaches. We didn't look crisp. I got a good feeling about how we prepared. So I think that factor's done. Now it's just a matter where guys, you know, competing and playing for each other. And we talked so much this year, Jody, about discipline, and that's going to be critical for us. We cannot try to do more than we're capable of doing. at every position, and that's got to be every snap, and that's hard to do in big games sometimes, and I think that'll be something that'll, really be maybe the key of how this plays out, is if we can just be solid defensively and play each play and focus each snap and do your job each play, and that'll be kind of the true test of what kind of team we are tonight. But from what I've seen in practice, I think that I feel good about our execution part tonight.
Real quick, let's take a look at the other 11B's quarters. You've got.
I would say all the home teams will be the
teams.
favorite again.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I heavy favorites probably in all three of those games with Canton, and Canton has Mobridge, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Bridgewater and Aberdeen Roncalli, and then MVP and lead. I would think that the top seeds would be the team to would come out of those. Those are all solid teams in the top bracket. Yeah.
Did you see Keller-Land's game of the week?
Is it Bonham Gregory or who is it?
No, winner Sioux Falls Christian.
Oh, good.
Hammered it home.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see it end.
Yeah. Oh, good, good. I mean, that's the one thing you talk about, you guys too. Enjoy the environment here and have no regrets. Just you come out, and these are the fun ones. These are why you play the game. You get out there and you compete and enjoy every moment of it and have no regrets. I think that I don't think there's any regrets about our preparation. Now the performance to lay it on the line and just let the chips fall, and that's what we're going to do.
Where's the bus? Let's go.
Yeah, we're ready to go right now.
All right. Good luck, Dan.
Thanks, Jody.